What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Wii Sports Resort. Today, we are going to do canoeing. Yeah. So, if you've missed the past two episodes, we're kind of going back to Wii Sports Resort and trying to clear up all the stamps that we can't or didn't do before. We've already done spin control and skydiving, and today is canoeing. If you know canoeing, the stamp that is so ridiculous, it's cut the red tape. In beginner, intermediate, and expert courses, there is red tape that you have to cut, which is way further than what you had to do to get your license, by the way. The red tape in beginner is 300 yards. The red tape in intermediate is 400, and then expert, of course, is 500. So there's the red tape right there. This is my best attempt when I solo ran it. Alex, what do you mean solo run? Well, what are you talking about? That's my best attempt solo. Now, let me tell you this little strategy that you can do. Usually, the stamps say cannot be obtained in multiplayer or co-op or versus or whatever. Like, you have to, for example, you have to cut the red tape, cannot be obtained in co-op. Except it never said that. It just says cut the red tape in beginner, intermediate, and expert. And I'm thinking, okay, well, sometimes they don't specify and it's a little weird. I'm gonna make sure that you can do this. I pulled up a Nicro video just to see. You can have multiple Wiimotes together, and this counts. It works. If you have multiple Wiimotes just banded together, you can hold them, you can tape them. I've seen people tape them into one Omega controller. But right now I'm just holding one Wiimote on top of another one. I got a new Wiimote kind of recently, not really, it was semi-recent, and with a Wii Motion Plus accessory, and then I had my old Wiimote with my Wii Motion Plus accessory, and I just go for it. So if you have more canoers, more paddlers, whatever you want to call it, you obviously go faster. So this actually does increase your speed. So after some learning of the course, if you have multiple Wiimotes together, you can cut the red tape. There we go. I barely cut the red tape at the end. That does count, by the way. Some people think that if you don't cut it before the timer, if the timer stops and you still cut the red tape, it does count. Some people think you have to cut it before the timer goes off. As long as it cuts, it counts. So, we're going to do intermediate now. I have not practiced intermediate nearly as much. I've been spending all my time on beginner, and now we're going to try intermediate. So, with two paddlers, because obviously I couldn't do beginner single-handedly, so what makes me think I can do intermediate? People who can do this, it is possible to do it with one canoer. It is very possible. I've seen people do it. I get angry at them. But you can do this with just one person canoeing. It is hard. It is difficult. Keep in mind, there's an expert course as well. I couldn't do the beginner course. So, yeah, if you can do this with one canoer, you will forever have my respect. That is insane to me. But this stamp takes precision, endurance, strategy. I mean, this stamp is crazy. It is ridiculous. And then you gotta have, if you're like me and you're not skilled enough, you gotta have more than one Wiimote. Like, it's just not possible otherwise. So the red tape is right there. This was not the run, but we got pretty close. What was it? 383, 17 more yards. We just need to do better, hit less grass, make our lines a little cleaner. I want you to know that I played this for over 3 hours. Easily over 3 hours. Easily. At this point, I'm about 2 hours in. The video is, right now, 5 minutes long, and I am 2 hours into this. This stamp physically hurt me. It is the next day. I cannot put my arms behind my back without my muscles screaming at me. If you canoe or do the canoeing motion for 3 hours, turns out your arms hurt. So before anyone is like, wow, Alex, you're a real wimp, play canoeing for 3 hours and then talk to me, all right? My feet hurt, my back hurt, my arms are still sore. It was a struggle. But you only have to do it once. That is what I told myself. It only takes one. Granted, you have to do beginner, intermediate, and expert, but it only takes one. And I was pretty close on beginner and intermediate relatively quickly. The fish are actually helping me. They gave me a little speed boost. That was nice. Going around the barrels, that was a little dangerous because it doesn't sit. You really want to optimize time. You know, really clean up your lines. But that was enough. You can make errors. I want to repeat, you can make mistakes. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be nearly perfect. There's a difference. So this is the expert course. It is ridiculous. 500 yards in what, 96, 97 seconds? It gets crazy. This is just one of the attempts. I think my best attempt was because it's 500. 490. I got up to 490 at one point. It's ridiculous. But, yeah, I just kept telling myself it only takes one. Only takes one. One run is all I need, and I never have to play canoeing again. So, yeah, my best attempt after over 2.5 hours with just me and Andrew was 390. I could not top it. And this was a pretty good run. Like, I might be a little slow right now. I'm going to give some tips on the final 2 attempts of, like, what you need to do, what you should expect. Because there's no speedometer. There's no, really, all you have is distance and the timer. So there's no speedometer. There's no, there's no, like, line to follow. You just kind of have to figure it out. So I'm going to be really, really nice on this last one, because this last one gave me a doozy. The beginner one, if you play it enough times, you'll figure it out. Intermediate, it's a little tricky, but this expert one this is the run killer. This is what stops you from getting the stamp. It's the expert course. And as it should, it's the expert course. But yeah, that was a really good run. Most of my runs stopped around 450. So getting 470, that was really good. I had to connect a third controller. Now let me tell you, this Wiimote did not want to work. It unconnected, disconnected, reconnected, stopped it. This is the broken... Remember there was like midway through the Wii Sports Resort series, maybe a little past midway, I said, hey guys, I got a new Wii Motion Plus accessory because the old one broke? Yeah, I had to use the broken one. This thing did not want to connect to save my life. But it was necessary because two remotes was not doing it. And like I said, if you can do 3, like the more paddlers you have, the faster you are. Obviously, I wasn't going fast enough. Have a little error there. That actually really slows me down. But 3 is going to do it. Nitro had to use 3 to win expert. So I don't feel bad about this at all. I thought I was going to have to go buy a new Wiimote accessory, Wii Motion Plus accessory, and get a 4th Wiimote. This took over an hour. With 3 people, this took over an hour. It was ridiculous. So like I said, I'm going to give tips on this last little run. You know, if you paddle right, you turn left. If you paddle left, you turn right. The number of times you do it obviously increases the sharpness of the turn. I try to do 2 at a time. Like, you know, if I'm going straight, I try and do 2 left, 2 right. It just gives me a little more speed, a little more consistency. Sometimes the Wiimote would bug if I didn't do 2. If I try to do 1 on each side, it would freak out where I was trying to go. So yeah, pretty much what I got with Andrew and me. It was like, what, 380 or something? Yeah, or 480. Here we go. So this is the run. So what you want to do, I like to go around this barrel, but staying close to it. I like to go on the outsides here. You can cut inside, but I like to ride the wall, ride the barrel. If you can get in between this first barrel, that's huge. You don't have to. It saves a little bit of time, saves a few seconds, and that's what you need. So what you want to do is you want to set yourself up. Never paddle left when that boulder falls, because if you do, you will fall into that boulder, and that will mess you up. So always paddle right. Then you're going to go in between those barrels. I actually don't go between these barrels. Going in between those barrels ruined more runs than I care to remember, so I went around. Honestly had a terrible, I swung out way too much, but it's okay. If you get here to that geyser around the 50-second mark, you're doing really good. That's a good time check. If you're at that second guy, or the first one, not that one, the one before it at 50 seconds. And if you're here at about 35, 38, you're really good. Like, you know you're on pace. Don't run into the grass. That turn is really, really sharp. It's a lot sharper than you think. So you want to paddle right a lot, a lot more than you think. And you want to start paddling right here, but you don't want to paddle too much right. This grass, this is a sharp, sharp, sharp left turn. You don't want to hit the grass, but you want to paddle enough where this geyser doesn't mess you up. It kind of messed me up a little bit. And once you get here, you just paddle right. Go in between the barrels, go around the barrels, do whatever you need to do. Go on the outside of this barrel, really just line yourself up. It only takes one, people. It only takes one. That is the most dangerous thing that I said while recording this. And that is how I got the stamp. I kept telling myself, it only takes one. It only takes one. One attempt, and you can cut the red tape. Now, the video is not over because I didn't want to do the previous stamp before I did this stamp. I knew I could get all the stamps of canoeing if I did cut the red tape first. So now, we're going to get ducks in a row. In the practice mode, there are 10 baby ducks. And you have to return them to the mother duck, who is kind of on the left. They're in the middle of the pond. The thing about this is there's 10 ducks. They're spread out everywhere. If you watch a YouTube video, it's very, very easy. I'm actually watching a YouTube video as I'm playing this to make sure I know where all the ducks are. You have to swim close to them. They'll join you. 10 ducks. And you return them to the mother duck. What makes this stamp kind of hard? It's not hard, especially if you watch a video. If you hit anything, if you hit a barrel, if you hit, it's really just a barrel. If you hit a barrel, the ducks scatter and go right back to where they started. If you go in the grass, if you go out of bounds, it doesn't matter. Just don't hit a barrel. Don't do it. The duck will just go to where they started. You don't have to do this fast. You don't have to be speedy. You don't have to be precise. As long as you know where the ducks are and you don't hit obstacles, you're going to get this stamp. Very, very simple. Going from cut the red tape to this was insane. And that right there, you see that you have to be kind of close to the ducks. There's a few ducks that I missed on my first go around. So you have to be semi-close. This duck did not want to freaking see me, dude. I was like, dude, just look at me. Yep, come on. Nope. I'm almost hit the barrel, so I gotta turn it around. And the duck saw me that time, so got lucky there. There's a lot of ducks around barrels. They are really rude with this one, because again, you can't hit a barrel or else the ducks will scatter. And they put like, I think about 6 out of the 10 ducks near the barrels. Here comes another one. He's doing figure eights around these barrels. There's one in the grass here. That one's well hidden. And then there's one by these barrels, like I said. Just doing figure eights. Don't know how he saw me, honestly. He was doing his own thing. This next one's a little weird. This next one you wouldn't think to look. So you go to the end of this little area, and there's a dock with a me. And they're kind of jumping up and down, having a grand old time. What are they jumping up and down about? There's a baby duck. And they're entertained by the duck. They're having a good old time with the duck. So if you just go up to this me, there's the duck. And you just got to have the duck see you. I was a little too far, but you want to stay on the outskirts, stay out of bounds, go towards the duck, and at some point, if you'll get close enough and you'll get the duck. There's only 3 ducks left. There's one on this corner on the left, one right across near some barrels, and then one right beside the mother duck. So here's the one by the corner. It is right beside a barrel. It is like dangerously close to the barrel, and they did that on purpose. You got to get right up on the barrel, and the duck will have to see you. I have to do like 2 or 3 loop-de-loops because this duck did not want to cooperate. So I was like, okay, that loop didn't work. Let me just do the long way home. Let me do a huge loop and get on the other side of the barrel. Because the duck range of vision, I really don't know how it works. Sometimes you're like right beside them and they'll see you, and that's the only way. And then other times, like right there, I had to get right beside them. Other times they'll see you from like miles away. I don't really get it. Here's another duck doing figure 8s. So I decided to kind of just wait here. Just don't hit the barrel. Just waiting on him because he's really close. Might have to do a loop. We're going to see. Yeah, the ducks are actually turning me around. That's so nice of them. So we're going to go towards the duck, but not close enough to where the barrels hit us. Should be doing his loop. So yeah. You got to make sure the duck's front is seeing you because that's where their eyes are. I know, crazy. The game actually calculates where their front and where their eyes are. And then this last one is right beside the mother duck. Just follow this little route. It'll make sense. If you can do cut the red tape, you can do this. Again, my recommendation, if you have 4 working Wiimotes, just go for it. Hold them one on top of the other and canoe by yourself. That's my recommendation. You can do it single player, like just one. You can do it with 2. But if you have 3 or even 4, you're in really good position. So that's ducks in a row. You have to quit practice and just do any race. I did a beginner race. I really didn't care. Really wasn't trying. Just had to get through one. And that is all the stamps. Ducks in a row. Hope you guys enjoyed. Again, cut the red tape. That was tough. I am still in physical pain. Recommendation, just get more Wiimotes. That's all my tips, man. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you next time. I don't know what sport is next, but all the stamps are hard, so it's going to be good. Peace.